abandonment,
desertion,
an individual left without resources
on whom she is dependent.
for social and financial survival,
2 out of 10 marriages
end with the wife being abandoned,
abandoned.
the endangering of a woman's welfare,
Safety and future prosperity,
women
deserted by their husbands.
deprived of her rights to fight a legal battle,
And his deliberate attempt
to deprive her of her right to live. The abandonment repeats itself over and over again in various forms and manifestations. Through centuries, from the mythic tales written by Kalidasa to our present day, across lands, seas, and continents. From the US to South Asia, we see stories of love, betrayal, and desertion. One such story is of a king called Dushyanta. Hunting in the forest, he ran after a fawn, a baby deer. As he was chasing the fawn, he entered the deep forests and suddenly came upon Shakuntala, the daughter of a sage who lives in the forest and is as pristine and as beautiful as Mother Nature herself. Both were transfixed seeing each other. Both fell deeply in love with each other. Love, that elusive word. They got married in the Gandharva tradition, where a woman can choose her mate without the consent of her family. The marriage and its consummation happened. The king started living in the forest happily with Shakuntala. But a king cannot remain in the forest for eternity, leaving behind his kingly duties. So, when it was time for the king to return to his palace, he gave Shakuntala his royal ring as a symbol of their love and marriage.
When I return to my court and resume my duties, if by chance I forget about you, this ring will be the proof that you are indeed my wife.
You will forget about me.
You have no idea, my love, how difficult it is to run a country.
When will you come and take me to live with you?
Every day, count a letter in my name. The day the letters end, that's the day my guards will come and take you to my palace.
The letter counting ends, but the king's men do not arrive. Shakuntala counts over and over again, but no one comes from the king's palace to get her. In the meantime, Shakuntala's father returns home from his travels, only to find his daughter impregnated and in a very depressed state. This incurs his wrath. But Shakuntala did get married, so she could get pregnant. And in those days, there was no birth control available. No abortion was possible either. What a nightmare! Imagine the plight of women. A man and a woman will both fall in love, but the woman will be held responsible for caring and raising an illegitimate child. But Shakuntala did get married to the king after all. This instantly pacified her father. And why wouldn't it? He was a king indeed. Shakuntala's father decided to make a trip to the king's palace with his daughter. Shakuntala arrives at the king's palace.
What an absurd proclamation. My wife. Do I have any dearth of queens in my palace?
My love, you were so much in love with me. You married me in front of the trees, birds, and animals. And now you so vehemently deny me. This is even beyond my worst nightmare.
My lady, you are insulting me.
You may deny our marriage, but how will you deny that royal ring that you had given me? Here. Oh. Alas, I cannot find the ring.
Women are clever and shrewd indeed. We have received the proof again.
No, perhaps due to my ill fate, I must have misplaced the ring. But can you not remember anything?
King Dushyanta doesn't do anything in secret. My lady, please take leave.
He has indeed rejected me. As a married woman, if I'm scorned by my husband, I have no option but to return to the forest and live all on my own.
Shakuntala's story does not end here. But should we continue with this classic tale? Or should we enact the many tales of Shakuntalas of our present times? For our next Shakuntala story, let us go to a multinational company in South Asia, where both Shakuntala and Dushyanta are IT professionals. Even though Shakuntala is far more efficient than Dushyanta, she receives a lower salary package. It is hard for us to acknowledge, even today, that a woman's efficiencies and abilities might sometimes be more than a man's. So in this company, Shakuntala is known more for her looks than for her abilities.
Oh, no, 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 no. I think I lost all my data. I think you don't understand how grave the problem is. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, but at the situation. And I'm happy about my foresight. You see, I realized how important this project was and knew that the people who were working on it are not smart enough to handle it. So I was proactive and I saved the data. Yeah, I have a backup.
Are you serious?
Can't you trust me?
No, 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 no. You are the Lord Savior.
Oh, wrong gender.
You are my protector.
Aha, wrong again.
Well, there are no feminine versions.
And even if there were, would you care to know about them?
I will. From now on, I will start research on all these feminine versions, even for a manhole.
Whether it is fortunate or unfortunate, this results in a sweet relationship, and then it turns into a marriage, and more happiness and more happiness follows. But in this century, happiness is a very finite concept. What happened? Why do you look worried?
I don't know how to say this.
Is everything okay? Is your mother okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
Then what's the problem? Any bad news?
I don't know if it is a good or bad news.
What is it?
I've got a promotion.
That's a great piece of news.
Yes, it is. But my new posting will be in New York.
That's even better.
I know. But With my mother's current health condition,
Dushanta's mother was suffering from cancer. Shakuntala promises to take care of Dushanta's mother while Dushanta leaves for New York. She even promises to pay for the last remaining payments of their new apartment where Shakuntala will be residing with Dushanta's mother. Before leaving, Dushanta assures her that once he settles down in New York, he will send the visa papers for Shakuntala to come and join him in New York. Will you take me to see the Statue of Liberty?
what about a Broadway show?
Yes, and the famous Times Square. You know, I've never seen snowfall in my life.
Me neither. Before leaving, I wish you and Mark would move to the new apartment.
But we're far from being done with the payments.
I'm thinking of taking a loan and paying it off.
Why take a loan? I have some money saved.
That's your money. Keep it with you.
Whatever is mine is yours. Dushanta leaves for New York. Shakuntala quits her job and starts taking care of her mother-in-law. But her care was not enough. Her mother-in-law passes away. Now, with the passage of time, Dushanta becomes more and more distant with her. He does not communicate with her as often as he used to. The phone calls, the text messages, the emails seem fewer and far between. Shakuntala thinks perhaps it is because of the geographical distance that there is a rift in their relationship. She realizes that she needed to be in New York, needed to be with her husband no matter what, to save her marriage. For the time being, fortune favors Shakuntala. She receives a 5-year multiple entry tourist visa and arrives in New York. But something was terribly wrong. Dushanta was not the lover, the husband that she once knew. In fact, he didn't care about her anymore. He was in love with someone else. And he was also filing for a divorce. Shakuntala was in Times Square, her dream place, flooded with lights, glitz and glamour. But there was a strange, inexplicable sadness in the air. The Broadway shows ran in packed houses. Snow flurries were showering from the New York skies like fluffy cotton balls. But nothing seemed to matter anymore. Life's bonds can sometimes seem so fragile. They get ripped with the slightest pull. Shakuntala doesn't know why the white shiuli flowers with their orange stems seemed so much more beautiful back home in South Asia than these cold flurries showering from the New York skies. For the remaining days of her stay in New York, Shakuntala did not speak a single word with Dushanta, except when she was at the airport. She held his hands and pressed them close to her chest and said, "You filed for divorce? But why? What was my fault?"
I don't know. I can't explain. don't love you anymore.
On the plane ride back home, Shakuntala cried, cried, and cried. After she landed, she went straight to her parents' home and was determined to fight her divorce case with all her strength and might. But it was beyond her worst nightmare when she found out that the American courts had granted an ex parte divorce in the absence of the defendant. Not only will she not receive any alimony, she will also have to forfeit the apartment that she had also contributed to purchase with her hard-earned money.